Welcome back to the Flannel Rocket, the show with everything you need to know about Michigan's startup scene. I am super excited to be back with yet another special episode. We're doing the second annual Tuebor Year in Review. I am joined today by my friends Riley Brennan and Chris Thomas of Trucks Ventures and Assembly Ventures here today, two prolific investors based in the state of Michigan. And we're going to be talking about the Tuebor Pledge and what has happened in 2025 and maybe a little bit of what's going to happen later this year. How are you guys?
Great to see you.
Welcome back to the show, guys. It's been too long.
It's been about a year.
It's been about a year. We're going to get into detail about Tuebor, the Tuebor Pledge, some things that have happened since 2025, but would love, before we get in, just a little bit on you guys and what's been happening in your firms this past year.
Yeah, you want to go?
So Assembly Ventures, it's been a very busy 25. I was just telling Riley in the midst of putting together our management letter to report out to our LPs for our year-end review. It was an amazing year of activity and global mobility. Q4, this last quarter that just took place, end of 25, was the first time we invested in air, land, sea, and space technology companies. We continue to deploy capital around the United States and the West in all the companies we're looking at, and the team is executing incredibly well. And so really, really proud of everything that's going on.
Yeah. Trucks, we do everything in transportation. So, as long as it's early, we like to say we're either early or way too early when we invest. So we've done quite a bit in trucking, aviation, aerospace, vehicles, very busy year. And the automation stuff is starting to bloom. And we have quite a few investments there.
Yeah, I am very, very excited about the future of Michigan's startup scene when it comes to the automation space and this combination of both hardware and software. And we'll get to that. Mm-hmm. But we're here today to talk about Tuebor, this very special pledge by Michiganders to invest in Michigan-based companies. Do you want to talk just a little bit and remind people of what this is, why it exists, and why we're here?
Sure. Yeah, I think, when Chris and I started to talk a little bit more, I think seriously about angel investments in Michigan, 5 years ago, I moved back to Michigan with my family, and we thought, what's a way we can make a commitment so that every year we make an investment in a Michigan company? And we started to put some shape around that, and it ultimately became this thing called the Tuebor Pledge. And it basically means that Chris and I have decided to make an investment in a Michigan company every year for the rest of our life, at least the rest of my life, maybe even the rest of Chris's life.
Long life.
Yeah. And so in the beginning, it was just kind of Chris and I saying, we're going to do this. And then we gave it a shape and a name of Tuebor, which is obviously on the state of Michigan flag. And now it's kind of open to anybody who wants to also make that commitment. And it isn't, determined by check size. It's really about your commitment to the state. So
yeah, and it's investing in not only private companies and startups that Riley and I like a great deal, but also public companies. You're buying a share of a stock. You're loaning capital to someone to actually really start up their business and get going. There's all different ways to make sure that you are part of investing in great Michigan entrepreneurs, and you can do it in a variety of ways.
I have taken the pledge since last year. We did this episode a year ago. I had not taken the pledge then. I felt really guilty, so I took the pledge. I think it was later that day. And I have, I'll tell you before we get into that. I'll tell you mine in a second. But how
this is not investment advice, by the way.
No, definitely not investment advice. Although I'm very excited about the investment that I did make.
But that, as an aside, is really important. The pledge is just an honor pledge, and so we are not giving investment advice, but rather we're just encouraging people to go out and invest in Michigan and great Michigan companies.
That's right. Chris and I aren't funneling money. We're not asking for money. We're just saying you make the investment on your own. It's totally on you to take the pledge and to have the honor to do it every year, and you did that. So it's great.
Riley always buys lunch, but other than that,
that's right. That's right.
And for anyone listening, how do they join? What's the process?
Yeah, so you can go to tuebor.org. There's some instructions there about ways you can kind of evangelize the pledge you've taken, but it's really about you just make an investment this year, you make another one next year, another one the following year. So. And private and public, doesn't matter what the check size is. It could be $1, it could be $100, $100 million.
Love it. All right, so I'll give you an example. I'll share mine, and then would love to hear from your perspectives the investments that you made last year as part of the Tuebor Pledge. But mine is simple, and I'm sharing this because anybody can do this. Like, you can do this. You could do it today if you wanted to. I bought shares in Lineage. So Lineage, formerly known as Lineage Logistics, based out of Novi, run by an MSU grad, Greg Limcool. This company was started in California, moved to Michigan. They moved to Michigan as part of that. They got a Michigan Business Development Program grant, like one of the programs the MEDC has. They got $850,000 from the state to move to Michigan. They now employ hundreds of people in Michigan. So I think I've done like the math. It's like they get $1 million a year back or more in taxes. The state does, which is super cool. Good bet to take on a company. This company is like the largest temperature-controlled warehouse REIT in the world. They have like 500 locations, they have like strategic locations across the world, and they help move, when you talk about the movement of people and goods, like mobility, they help move food, right? They help feed the world because of what they do, and they're based here in Michigan. So I bought shares of them.
And they went public a couple years ago, right?
They went public in 2024, largest IPO of the year globally. It was like almost $5 billion that they raised, and they got a little bit more from me this past year.
Initial Pete offering.
Yeah, there we go.
The only IPO you want to know.
The only IPO.
The most important one.
And I'm just excited to do it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
excited
really
to do it
great.
again this year. I'll diversify across Michigan-based public companies, but like that's going to be my commitment, at least for now.
Pete, if you don't mind me asking, how many shares did you buy?
About 6 shares.
Yeah, so this is the point. Like the Tuebor pledge is met. You buy 600, you buy 6, you buy 1. You are investing in Michigan companies, and you can do it in a variety of ways.
Yep. I bought 6 shares of Lineage. I recently sold some shares in Microsoft, so I'm going to take that and buy more Michigan-based
Seattle
companies.
doesn't need more money.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's great.
How about you guys?
Yeah, you want to go?
Sure. So I have 3 investments I want to speak to in 25. One, Embedder Tech out of Ann Arbor, an early-stage Y Combinator company looking at AI agents for firmware, 10x faster than humans. An amazing business. You know this guy?
No, I don't know these guys.
I mean, unbelievable business who kind of sits between Michigan and the West Coast, but really young entrepreneur, incredibly young entrepreneur, makes me feel old, but excited to see what he's doing. Our friend Jay at Scorbit, looking at the connecting of a variety of arcade games or pinball machines and monetizing.
This is Jay
them in a
Adelson,
variety of ways.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about what he's doing. Love that he's building it with his son in Michigan. You know,
I didn't know he's building it with his son. That's pretty cool.
If you read the story, like
Wow.
in terms of those two and
Yeah.
why he decided to do it, it's heartwarming. It's a great Michigan story. And then last but not least, we were joking earlier, top of the stack, I did my first debt financing. The first 2 were angel investments for an amazing young company in northern Michigan in Elk Rapids called Michigander Bakery and Coffee. You guys remember last year I talked about Freedom Hill Coffee Roasters was my brother's business. He has acquired the bakery in Elk Rapids. They're opening the bakery in Bel Air. He is hiring his first new set of bakers and bringing them online. It's an amazing business, and it's Michigander, for God's sakes. And so had a chance to help him with a little bit of financing to continue to build his business out. I'm just so proud of what they're building and the quality of what they're putting together.
When is it open? Or is it open now?
It's open now.
Okay,
So actually,
great.
so the rebranding took place a couple months ago. I want to say he is getting ready for the high time of the Michigan peak season with the holidays in northern Michigan. And we were there. We were driving through on Fat Tuesday. Best punch cake I've ever had.
Oh, man.
I mean, unbelievable. And so my brother and sister-in-law, not only are they working their butts off, but they're building a quality product in northern Michigan that I think is going to be able to be around the state and around the country.
That's really great. Wow.
Oh, I love it. And shout out to Freedom Hill Coffee Roasters, too. I bought that coffee post this episode last year, and it's really is great. It's great.
Yeah, I have it every morning.
We know that Pete didn't have any this morning because he was late to this meeting.
I did have.
So had he had,
I didn't want to bring it up.
You know, had he had Freedom Hill Coffee,
I think he might have had something else from
roasters.
Seattle.
I had a great conversation with a founder. Shout out Asha Jones at TripSlip, another founder here in Detroit. I'm 2 minutes late, guys. 2 minutes.
It is. We saw him through the window, so that is true.
I'll
that's
talk
so
about
good.
mine. So I did one in a company called Loretta, which is founded by a guy named Ted Serbinski, who we all know.
I've heard of him.
And I think I was the first check in Loretta. So Loretta is a education IT company, so specifically for small schools. So you have basically you have these devices, you have Wi-Fi, you have password management. People lose iPads and stuff like that, and it's very complex. So you have permissions with apps and parents and kids, and Loretta simplifies that. And he started it because he was helping out with his kid's school, and they had all these issues. But it was a small school, didn't have enough budget to have one of these huge IT shops. So it's basically an IT services company for education of kind of the smaller level. So I wrote first check in that one.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's not very mobility. It's just.
Yeah, it's not. I
Yeah.
think, I don't know how you feel about your crossover with Assembly, but it's easier for me to make Tuebor investments when they're not, transportation, because that's my sort of fund life, and it's a nice, separation of church and state when it's not that. So
100%. I think for me, it's we're looking for those amazing Michigan entrepreneurs that are doing everything.
Yeah.
And if they fit the bill in which they have an amazing mission, amazing plan, amazing entrepreneurs, those are where I want to cut checks into. And we're seeing a lot of that around the country, around the state, I should say.
Yeah, same here. So we're industry agnostic. Super hard for me to take a look at any high growth startups. So to make it easy, I said, okay, cool, publicly traded companies, I'm in. Let's go.
Exactly.
I love it.
We don't go as early as Riley does. As he said, it's early or too early. So we're a little later. So that also, if there's really early stage mobility companies as well, that's a chance to kind of put a check to work.
Yeah.
That also is nice.
Yeah. Now, last year we had a list of investments made by other Tuebor Pledge members, and I think later this year we're going to have some more of that.
Not only will we have the list of investors, but I think we've had a great outpouring this year, especially with some of the things we've done and conversations we've had, where people are like, how do I join? Exactly the question you asked. We wanted to have a list that's kind of full and robust of everyone that's come on and that's still coming on over the course of the next couple months. But later this year, we're excited to put that out.
I can see, if you want a sneak preview of that, if you go to LinkedIn and you look up Tuebor, you can see Tuebor on LinkedIn, and you can also see some of the folks that have publicly put that on their LinkedIn profile. Some really cool people.
As an aside, Riley mentioned it's really not about, Tuebor, LinkedIn's about evangelizing. But if you do that search and you look at either of our LinkedIns or anyone that is a Tuebor Pledge maker, you'll see that they have the logo and a small little verbiage kind of like blurb right there. It's worthwhile to do. So sign up and let other people see that you're doing, and we've had a very viral response to that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot on the Tuebor Pledge. The reason we're doing this is to help put more capital into the hands of great people that are building great things in Michigan. And by the way, I have been digging really deep on Michigan's history. I think you guys do the same thing. And I see a lot of connection, a lot of parallel between the founders that have been building things in lumber and mining and cereal and automotive and all the things that spun up around automotive, and the population growth in the state and the success of our state, right? So Tuebor is about backing those people, finding them, putting capital into their hands so that they can build great businesses, hire incredible people here in Michigan, and have a real big impact on our state. And I just thank you guys. I appreciate you for starting this thing. I think that the snowball is genuinely rolling downhill.
We'll say there's one additional benefit for those who make the commitment, which is that making the commitment has its own reward, regardless of the check size. It has some financial rewards, and this isn't financial advice, but the rewards for us when we write this is knowing that every year that we've made this commitment, because it's hard to make commitments like this over a long period of time. And when you have one that's associated with where you live or where you grew up or something like that, it's quite meaningful. So even if the check size is tiny, the commitment feeling is quite broad.
And these small checks to early stage companies matter. They matter a great deal. It may seem like a small amount of money, but when you're coming together and supporting someone in your community or in the state or in a sector or some aspect of what you love, to them, it's going to help them get that business to the next level.
Totally agree. I was talking to someone recently. They got an unexpected $500, and that $500 is like huge for them. It's
absolutely
unbelievable. So the more you can back people building here in Michigan, the better. Where else would you want to put your capital than local to you? All right, so I want to talk about some news because Michigan seems to be on a continued what I will call a meteoric rise. There's lots of great things that are happening here. You guys heard about the Histosonics acquisition last year. For those that don't know, Histosonics is using for like ultrasound, right, to melt cancer tumors. Unbelievable. And the history of our state, a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't know that we invented the flu vaccine, the whooping cough vaccine, certainly Lipitor, all these things. The MSU Research Foundation exists because of cisplatin, this like miracle chemotherapy drug that took the survival rate for testicular cancer from 10% to over 90%, which is unreal. And now we have Stryker, one of the most valuable, I think the most valuable by market cap company in the state. So we have a lot of healthcare expertise, and now we have Histosonics with a $2.2 billion acquisition just last year.
That's wonderful.
You guys weren't in that one because it's not a mobility company, but that's okay, right? It's okay to see.
Or we just missed it, which happens on occasion.
Or you missed it.
We're just not smart enough.
And that's okay, right? That's not my expertise either, but it's great that there's companies all across the spectrum being built in Michigan, and Histosonics is a great example of a company they've been building for a long time, and they had a really cool acquisition just last year.
And along those lines, you talked about like we love broad mobility, air, land, sea, and space, movement of people, goods, data, energy. The healthcare opportunity, the biotech opportunity, the physical, manufacturing and advanced manufacturing opportunity. So many subsegments and subsectors in Michigan, which are exciting. We're seeing entrepreneurial activity in.
Yeah, I think it's important to think of Michigan as we have such a great history of mobility, but we don't have a right to it. So there's a lot of new entrants, and there's also, I think, this understanding for founders that you can really build in any segment, and you should have the support of your community. So you don't have to be building a car company to talk to Chris and I.
Yeah.
About an idea.
Prefer it, actually.
Yeah, talk to these guys. Reach out.
Yeah.
We'll put their LinkedIn's in the description here if you don't know them already. So speaking of the history again, because I love how this stuff ties together. So lumber and mining in Michigan, and like the logistics expertise that we have. We talked about this last time, how we have like the number one graduate and undergraduate schools in the country for logistics, and that started because we needed it, right? Like we needed it for lumber, we needed it for mining. Like the Sioux locks, like the first major locks in the country, built to help transport ore. And that led directly into automotive. We had the capital, we had the talent, the culture, like this like blue collar work ethic of just doing hard things. And because of automotive, we got into defense. We saved the world, right, with defense. And that's coming back around again. You see the White House administration pushing on GM and Ford to get back into defense in a bigger way. And we also have this massively educated workforce, right? We have the most engineers, hardware and software per capita out of any state in the entire country. And I think that positions us so incredibly well for everything that comes next.
And just as an aside, you make the point around the recent announcement just last week to GM and Ford. When we talk about excess capacity, let's use that capacity. The startups that are going to be actually supplying and working with the large OEMs and the incumbents, there's a huge opportunity there. And this is Ford, GM, Stellantis. This is across their Michigan, United States global footprint. It's really exciting for a number of reasons as we think about defending our ideals and the things we care about.
Yeah, it will have a very big impact on our state. Like, of course, we're going to move down this direction. It's going to have a huge impact. Speaking of huge impact, guys, did you see that Michigan, not only is Detroit growing, right? And Detroit's been growing now for multiple years in a row, which is its own incredible stretch since like the 1950s. Like we haven't had a stretch like this in Detroit. But now Michigan has seen more positive net migration, more people moving into Michigan from around the country than people leaving our state for the first time in 30 years.
It's great.
What's that mean to you?
Yeah, historic.
I mean, it's outstanding, and I love it, and I love the enthusiasm of this data point, but we also have to be honest about the fact where we sit from an overall growth perspective when it comes to population, where we sit from fourth grade reading levels. We are not at the place we need to be, and so I think we need to be really focused on the success. We need to, be excited about that success and not rest on our laurels and get to work. And I think when it comes to entrepreneurial ecosystems, industrial ecosystems, the education of our kids, the care of our elderly, like how do we create a state and cities in our state that really people want to be in more than anywhere else in the world? We have some work to do there, in my opinion.
Fully agree. As a parent that has a child, we have our kids in first grade, right? So, and she's going to public schools here in Michigan. Super important. And when I look at what I think we're 44th in reading across the country, I was literally talking to ChatGPT on the way down here, as you do, saying like, what does that mean? Like, I know we're 44th, but like, what's the disparity? Yeah. And I will verify this, but what it was telling me is that it's about 1 year difference between like fourth graders in Massachusetts read at about the same level as like fifth graders in Michigan. Like that was the analogy that I got.
Yeah, I wasn't planning to do this, but I'm going to do it.
Ooh,
he's pulling a book out.
I'm pulling something out here. So this just came out when it comes to these kinds of data. So this is the Detroit Regional Chamber's State of the Region 2026. Outstanding piece.
Oh my goodness.
On the infographics and kind of breaking down what are we doing great, what are we doing well, what are we not doing well, and we need to work really hard to make sure we're getting better. Highly recommend this. And the Chamber is doing great work from just a policy perspective on these things.
Oh, I love it. Do you have extras of those?
I don't. It's mine, but I will get you more.
He'll sign it for you.
Yeah.
I'll read as much as I can before you leave.
I will find plentiful copies for you, Pete.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, so it is great to see positive net migration, more people coming into Michigan. I think it is a trend. I think these are like trends that are really hard to shift in short periods of time. So to see that things are now moving upward, I think we're going to see more of that. Lots of other things to do, right? The education side in particular is shocking to me because MSU, like as an alum, MSU is the best education school in the country, right? We produce the best teachers in the country. How is that not trickling down to our kids? Should be. Okay, more stuff. The Michigan Innovation Fund. This is last year's news, right? This is January 2025. $60 million gets committed to invest in more, to put more capital into the hands of founders across the state. That put more capital into the MSU Research Foundation, right, through Michigan Rise and the Michigan Rise Evergreen Fund, a number of other state-backed funds across the state. And it also had some money set aside for a statewide pitch competition, which we were fortunate to earn, called PitchMI. And Chris, you were involved with that. You were You were a very early supporter of that. I will say that.
Well, I was involved in that, but I would say that you and Dave were that. The work that you did on this competition to make this as successful as it was. And there's mixed opinions when it comes to state dollars or public dollars being used toward these things. I think you took the public purse, you took it very personally. You said, how do we actually put these dollars to work for the best companies in states and regions, or cities and regions across the state in impactful ways? I've never seen a competition like this done better. Just incredibly impressive when we went to the final in Lansing a couple weeks ago now. Kudos to you guys.
Thank you. I will say we took that very seriously in terms of, if you're going to use state dollars to do a thing, you better do it well.
100%.
Right? You better do that well.
And to your point, we had the chance, and you were kind of called to let us co-sponsor the Detroit portion of the 4-city tour when we were putting all the early stage companies together, invested in General Orbit as a part of that. Unbelievable progress with what they're doing from both a technology and an operations perspective. So I didn't really know what to expect. I've had kind of mixed experiences in those type of environments. Outstanding. And I think great for the state.
Riley, are you familiar with General Orbit?
I was learning about it from Chris. I think this competition is really interesting because, to be candid, over the last year, I think there's been a sort of a spotty record by the state of Michigan in putting its own money into, some questionable investments. And I think, to be candid, one of the best parts about Tuebor, as we see it, is that even if you disagree with what some administration is doing with your tax dollars for investing, Tuebor is about you making that investment,
100%,
right? So, like,
100%.
you there might be a point in your life when you don't like who's in Lansing and the way that people spend money. And unfortunately, that's just going to happen on some cycle for the rest of your life as long as you live in Michigan.
Yes.
The benefit of Tuebor is you get to say, like, well, with my own coin, I know every year I can make an investment that I truly believe in, which is way more powerful than waiting for somebody from Lansing to, bestow upon you such privilege.
I fully agree with this, and I will say this as well. So, Chris, you came in with PitchMI. We took a bet. I think I put my personal career on the line with this thing to make sure that it was successful, which is why we put a lot behind it, just to say, like, this has to be great. And you came in before anyone to say, you know what, we'll come in with you. We'll co-invest with whoever it is that wins this pitch competition. We'll co-invest. That was catalytic because we were able to take that, and we got Corewell Health came in with us in Grand Rapids. eLab came in with us in Ann Arbor, right? But it was because I leveraged you being in big time to say Assembly's already in. You guys should come in. It made it so much easier for that to happen. And we're doing it again this fall. And we've already got people that are talking to us about this already. Like that. That is awesome.
Is
right?
that the one where you sent me a photo of? Can we talk about Nanners on here?
Oh, we did.
Was that from PitchMI?
That was not Nanners. That was not PitchMI, rather. So I recently had the chance to judge at Michigan State. So this is a great.
Do you know
Michigan
about
story.
Nanners?
I just recently learned about them. I saw them.
I can't believe you just let Nanners out of the peel, buddy.
I mean, we just opened it up. When Chris sends me a note and he's like, "You got to meet this founder," like, to me, there's few things as exciting as that.
So Michigan State, when I was there, 100 years ago, no entrepreneurial kind of like programs,
very little,
if you will.
right?
What Burgess has done with this pitch competition, I was able to be a judge. They were kind of having me back to judge these young entrepreneurs. It was a rapid fire, it was like 15 pitches, like in the course of a couple hours, like boom, boom, boom. But this young man came in wearing a banana suit, pitching his idea for a fast, on-the-go protein treat, heavy in protein, low on calories, called Nanners. So think of kind of like poppers that are banana bread. And it at first, when I was watching this, as we often do with young companies, I'm like, man, what is this? But he was so passionate, and he was just giving this pitch, amazing deck, amazing financials, talking about how he's going to grow, cooking at the MSU Food Science building, and like integrated within all their resources.
And great name.
And
great name.
Great name. My sons both approve. And I told him while we were in the pitch, I was like, I love what you just did, and I'm your first check. And I think like it was a really wonderful program. So no, Nanners is maybe Nanners is a future PitchMI. We'll see.
Yeah,
but right now,
and maybe 26 Tuebor Year in review, but that's super cool. And how do the people find Nanners, Chris? What's the website?
Just search. I mean,
is it Nanners.com?
It's just Nanners.
We'll put a link.
Okay.
We'll put a link.
It's beyond.com.
Click here.
Right there.
Nanners.
Yeah, we'll link it in the show notes.
I found that the stuff coming out of MSU right now, especially in the CPG space,
unbelievable.
wild. wild. Protein Pints went meteoric last year. They're doing incredibly well all across the country, all over the place with their protein ice cream. Now you've got Coco Mar, which I swear is like the best drink I've ever drank in my entire
Where do I
life.
get that? I haven't had that.
It's not out yet,
okay.
and it needs to be because it's like a Brazilian coconut water, right? So unbelievably good. You've got Nanners. You have multiple others that are all.
But one quick shout out to Michigan State, to Paul and Chris and everyone working at Burgess and everything that's happening there. It's amazing, the ecosystem they're building. As a proud Michigan State grad, I couldn't love it more.
This is going to be sponsored by MSU one of these days. This is good. This is really good. All right, Slate. Can we talk about Slate?
Sure.
This is not 2025 news, but it's recent news. They announced $650 million Series C. You guys are much more read in on the space than I am, so I see big number. I get excited. It's Michigan. But what's it mean?
I mean, it's a small electric vehicle startup with some bold-faced names behind it, notably the Bezos family office and a few others. But it's trying to build a small modular electric truck that you could get right out of the gate. It's very simple, and then the point is you add accessories. So a lot of the executive team is actually from Harley Davidson, which has a similar business model where you buy the core product. It's kind of good enough, but a lot of the consumers will put on a lot of high margin stuff as accessories. And the Slate product is really designed like that from the get-go and has a lot of interesting people from this area, headquarters in Troy. The CFO, May Mobility, who he joined as CFO of this company. So yeah, we've known about it, and they've raised a ton of money. I'm not an investor, but I think it's wonderful. So I'm excited for it.
And I would just add, we're also not investors here. We went very deep on the company. Incredibly impressive with the investors. I mean, Jeff Wilke in particular, what they're doing and how they're doing it is really impressive. Chris, who was the CEO until recently, she is just outstanding. So I love the team she's brought together. I think the segment is less difficult than it was before gas was at $100 a barrel and going north. But it'll be a tough segment in a variety of ways, whether it be service, whether it be dealership, whether it be what does consumers really want. And I think you see what Jim Ford is doing in innovation. You see what Marriott GM is doing in innovation across all powertrains. It's going to be more difficult, and that's good because we're competing to offer a better product at a lower price to Michiganders and to Americans and to everyone around the world.
Well, you mentioned it last year, right? This is not a place where we may not be the leaders in automotive for forever. It's earned, not given. Yeah. And to see another company coming in to Troy, right, to Michigan, raising a ton of money and building a thing and making it more competitive and like hyper-focusing talent in this space, that's good. I see that as a really good thing.
I will say, though, sometimes incumbents, they look at startups and they're like, well, they're trying to take away from what we're doing. And the gut reaction is like, oh, they're competing against other Michigander, other U.S. firms. This is an American company founded by Americans, building vehicles for Americans. I mean, it's good to have that competition. It's going to make everyone sharper.
Yep. Or allegedly mid 20,000s for this vehicle. It's kind of like a PC where it's like really modular. You can like swap pieces out and put new things in. Super exciting. My car is getting real old. I would love a new car. Would love an EV. I think it'd be great. It's a good one.
You can probably reserve a Slate now.
I know. I thought about it back in like April of last year, and I should have done it then.
Imagine a Nanners wrapped Slate truck. It's
for the record, Ethan, I can't imagine that.
We're visualizing that right now.
All right, let's. And Chris, you wanted to talk today a little bit about the past, present, and future here.
So a new segment for 2025, a year in review, Tuebor, past, present, and future. So I love just going on various sites and just searching Tuebor to see what's in the Tueborverse. And I recently came across something that was pretty spectacular. I'm going to pass it around so you guys can look at it. So this is a circa late 1800s, early 1900s. It's a lapel pin. It features the word Tuebor on the front, an eagle. We don't know exactly what it is. It's lost to Tuberdom, but it's looking, whether it's Masonic, whether it's veterans, whether it's firefighters, it has kind of a firefighter feel to it. It's an amazing piece. So when you think about 1837, our flag, our state, admitted to the Union, Tuebor, kind of put prominently out there, I'll defend. It's great to see these pieces that kind of have been part of our past. My granddad worked at Great Lakes Steel. I look at these pieces and I love them. So that's a little piece of Tuebor past. Tuebor present is an actual...
Well, there's a picture of this as people are watching this video, so you can see it now,
it's outstanding. Tuebor present this year is an actual present, and it's for Professor Brennan, my goodly co
Oh my gosh, are
Ooh.
we gonna open? Do we open it on air?
So we're going to open on air.
Okay.
Wait, I need.
An
Yeah.
official Tuebor.
I mean, and
paper
I
from
will
the
say
Detroit
no
News.
expense was spared.
No expense was spared. Detroit News.
Detroit News, Nolan
Clippings.
Finley.
I see.
Nolan,
Is
shout
that
out.
NCAA tournament there?
We have
you got
some
some-
some JV, some Verlander on the side here, and
Oh yeah.
let's see what else we get here. Okay,
I mean, the wrap job was almost more than the item.
this is really phenomenal.
The anticipation, guys.
Yeah, and we haven't. Okay, so
This is an e-commerce purchase. We have
an eBay wrap. Let's see what we find here.
Tuebor present. Oh, okay.
Ooh, and it smells like maybe grandma's basement a little bit, which always excites me. Is it in here or is it in the
You know what,
peanuts?
I don't want to.
Let's see.
I think.
I mean, okay, let's see. We got warmer. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. It's like a Fabergé egg. I don't want to break it.
It is. It is delicate.
What's in here? I
And
feel
yet
like
powerful.
okay. I think I've located it. All right, and this is is it the same one? Oh my gosh,
There's
we have a
two.
two of a kind.
there was another.
Tuebor.
A Tuebor. And so I took this when I got it. It was incredibly tarnished. I took it to Ahee
Oh my
Jewelry
gosh.
in Grosse Pointe. Ahee did an amazing job in making this fresh and
All right,
clean.
here we go. That's
Riley,
amazing.
I
Wow.
highly recommend going. Of course.
That's so special.
That's
Thank you so much.
good.
Wow.
I highly recommend going to see Pam Thomas at Ahee's Jeweler. No relation, but she's amazing. And
I
have-
kind of like the tarnish though,
So-
because that's kind of more. You're more of a polished guy, like the suit.
and you're more of a tarnished guy.
I'm
When you
more of
say
I'm more of just a vintage, rugged.
well, as long as you can read it.
I like that ours
long as
are
you can
the
read it.
same, but they're different
Good.
too.
Good man.
That's really great. I really like it. And it's the same exact one, you think?
It's
It
the-
looks
it's
We're gonna
the-
have to do a
it's the-
photo
it's the
of
same
both.
Exact one.
And you can pick in the comments whether you like sort of shiny or I will say just kind of like heritage.
But
Nice.
I
The
will say
heritage version.
The first time I searched, there was only one, and I thought I'm never going
That's
to find
it.
one again.
Yeah.
And then months later,
And it popped up.
it popped up.
Amazing.
So
This
that's
is your nights and
Look at
weekends
you.
just
So that-
scouring for Tuebor.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is great.
You.
Hours
That's
wasted.
really great.
Not wasted. Mm-mm.
Really
hours
great.
spent wisely. And then for Tuebor future,
Yeah.
Tuebor Year is near.
That's right.
2026 is the year
Swag.
where we are going to be bringing everything from lapel pins to other items. For those of you that are joining the pledge that are
Yeah.
part of this community, so this is something.
Yeah, we've been working on, and I think one of the, most people don't need an inducement to make a Tuebor pledge, but I think one of the fun things about it is once you've made it to kind of show the world. So we've been, kind of prototyping some things that you'll be able to put on your body in some way in the coming year. So this is a call. Make the 2026 Tuebor pledge. Make an investment in a Michigan company, and we'll bless you with the Tuebor gear at the end of the year.
If that's not a reason to join, there is no reason. Like the swag is going to be
It's
too
gonna be great.
good.
Yeah.
And show off your pride in your
right.
state, your pride in putting capital into the hands of people that are here. That's awesome. Okay, we've got one last segment. We did it last year. We're doing it again this year.
Before we get to the last one, can I do one more thing?
Yeah.
So we had a spirited debate that came out of my 10-year-old's visit to Lansing last week around the pronunciation of Tuebor. And I had a very spirited debate with my boy that's telling me, Daddy, you're pronouncing Tuebor wrong. And I took great umbrage at this at first. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I was there today at the Capitol, and it's Tuebor. And I said, it can't be Tuebor. so I did a search, and there are some that say Tuebor. Even there are some that saying that is the correct way to pronounce it. But I don't want Tuebor to
They're not at this table though.
Oh, that's true. And so I think we have to put it to the people
Let's put it to people.
as
That's
to,
right.
what is the pronunciation of this amazing word on our flag? And maybe it's a Michigander, Michiganian thing. The last one is completely wrong. That people just kind of, they say both. But I feel like I want to put it to the listening audience to get their thoughts.
I think that's right. I know where I live, which is in Tuebor land.
Yes.
I also live in Tuebor land. And so we'll put it up to you guys. Put comments on the video, please. Engage, share it, and tell people what you think if it's Tuebor or Tuebor. Tuebor is so interesting.
Is it?
I say interesting. Maybe
I do think it sounds
wrong?
a little bit like a nickname for somebody more than it does
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, we're going to look it up. We'll look up more of this.
Michiganders want to know.
Yeah.
And
The
yeah,
listening
yeah.
audience demands it.
Share with us your thoughts, Tuebor or Tuebor. One of those is going to be official, and we'll see. You'll have to stay tuned.
Wikipedia sometimes has the pronunciation button you can click. What does it have on Wikipedia? Maybe we could establish. Maybe you could lay down the.
No, we're gonna go right now.
Okay.
While
If
Check
it says
out.
Tuebor,
I
We might have to do an edit.
yeah.
We might have to
There you
Wikipedia edit
go.
on that.
Tuebor.
But please, Pete.
All right.
I can do this. We can double tap.
Yeah. Last segment of the show here. So is there a company, public, private, could be one you've invested in, could be one that you just really like? Is there a company anywhere in Michigan that you particularly want to shout out today and just celebrate what they're doing here in our state?
Yeah, I have one. There may be a couple to start with. One is a company called Moksa, which is based here in the Detroit area. They started with the concept of kind of, living on closed circuit TV and retail where, you could see what's going on. As it turns out, a lot of gas stations and retail have different types of cameras, different types of systems. And if you want to kind of see what's going on, you'd almost had to go into like 5 different logins and 5 different things. So this basically allows you to have one pane of glass to say like, I might have legacy systems, but I want to look at what's going on in my store, see if there's any theft or something like that. And brilliant founder, small company, but a lot of awesome traction. That's one. And then the other one I'll just say is Shorts. I know we talk about Bel Air a lot in this show for some reason, but Shorts Brewery. Shout out to my man Tim Murphy, who's a big fan of Shorts, and I just started drinking some of the new Shorts releases, and they're really great. So those are my 2.
Love it.
Yeah.
And nothing pairs better with a Shorts brew than Michigander Bakery and Coffee.
I mean, obviously,
Just as an aside.
they have Bel Air on lock.
Yeah. So if you're if you're in Elk Rapids, get their new bakery coming to Bel Air.
Right,
So it's
of
gonna
course.
be a walking distance
Yeah.
or stumbling distance, depending. Time will tell. I want to call out actually. I wasn't planning on doing this, but as Riley said in the beginning, and Pete, you alluded to, like we invest globally in the Western world in mobility, air, land, sea, and space technologies. But we have an amazing group of companies here in Michigan. So General Orbit, we already talked about. Motmot, which is in this building looking at the future of inspection and safety for public piping. What that team is building and how they're building is unbelievable. Airspace Link, what Michael and the team are putting together in terms of the safety of our skies with more drones being flown in a variety of different use cases, that is incredibly exciting. And so we're seeing this. It's amazing to me that I can sit here and just beat my chest about these unbelievable entrepreneurs and companies that are in our backyard. Not because I don't think it can happen, but it is happening. And we're at this moment where I think the precipice is really being, conquered. And so I'm excited about those 3 in a big way.
Could not agree more. I'll give 2 since we're giving more than one. First one, Max Albert at Adrenaline Interactive. He won the $1 million championship a couple weeks ago. That guy's awesome, right? Has been a homegrown Michigander. His great grandfather was governor of Michigan. We just found this out a week or 2 ago. Yeah,
Who was it?
I don't know. I need to get the name. I'll share the name. I'll put the name.
It's
in the
not
comments.
his. It's not his. What's his last
It's
name?
not Albert.
Okay.
It's not Albert.
Yeah.
But his great grandfather was governor of Michigan, and I'm like, how did I not know this before? So cool. But Max is so with Adrenaline Interactive, they're doing product placement inside of video games, right? But really immersive. They're using AI to do so. So you can just upload your logo, and just all of a sudden it'll skin all of these different items in different video games. So you can just be like passing.
Nanners
It's
is in
Nanners. Yeah, absolutely.
Global universe.
Unbelievably cool. The
Hungry,
market for that is
in need
huge.
of protein on the go. Nanners.
Exactly. Right. And so I've told him recently, I'm like, man, the guys at Protein Pints need to be in here. Any CPG company in
Absolutely.
Michigan, super
Yeah.
easy. We're going to be working to connect him with many companies across the state, because why would we want any other state to have the advantage here? Like we're gonna start with Michigan and get them advertising inside of Fortnite, Roblox, all these major video games. Super cool. And then I'll actually go back to General Orbit, because Parker in particular, I did not know he existed when we did this last year. Didn't know he existed until we did this pitch competition, and he showed up. They came out of stealth in order to do so. This is technology out of U of M. For faculty have been working on this for decades, right? They, even in the fall when they won, their positioning was, we're going to make building satellites cheaper and easier. And over the course of 6 months, they went from that to, hey, we've built a new way. We have the patents. Like, we can scan the Earth's crust and tell where you are. So we don't need satellites to do what GPS does. And this can work on any device. It can work on drones. It can work in planes, on satellites, whatever. I think the ceiling for that is practically unlimited. And he's right there. They're building in the office across the hall.
And as an aside, this company went from complete stealth to they now are a payload deployment on a future rocket launch this year. I mean, it's amazing how they put this together, and I give him a tremendous amount of credit. Also, shout out to the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
They did a great job here by way of kind of looking at, IP partnership, investment, supporting the business.
When a Spartan says that too, it means something.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
I see you getting a little rosy.
Right.
But it speaks to Tuebor is bigger than these tribal instincts of ours.
Yep.
Like,
That's right.
we need to be Michigan men and women. We need to be for the state, all in, both peninsulas. And I think we can do that with our amazing universities, with our amazing entrepreneurs. Parker's a great example.
One more time, Riley, where can people go to learn more about Tuebor and sign up?
Yeah, tuebor.org, so tuebor.org. All the instructions are there, and you can hit Chris and I up by email from that site too, or contact us. And yeah, thanks so much, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We will be back later this year with more information on Tuebor and people that have taken the Tuebor Pledge and the investments that they've made in 2025. And we will catch you next time on the Flannel Rocket.